The first question, it's a bit of an odd one, but everybody in Derbyshire and I'm sure at the club sees this as a major achievement, and it is. How big an achievement is it for you? Or are you still looking for what comes after this?
No, we daring to dream, Fletch. It's great to be here, and of course you've got to be in this position to be able to go all the way and win the competition. But we're taking it one game at a time. Great to be in the quarterfinal, but quarterfinal is just the start for us as a unit. We won't be happy until we get to finals day, and then hopefully go one further. So that's where we sit probably as a squad at the minute.
We've seen the belief in the squad. You can physically see the belief in the squad, I think. Was it difficult to keep that belief when it was played 6, won 2, lost 4, or was it just a matter of keep ploughing on?
In a funny sort of way, we had always plotted the kind of journey. We had plotted the course, and we knew that when we got on the bus and we went up north and we had Yorkshire and Lancashire, I think we knew we had to get one of the two. So we always kind of sort of, I guess, had a little graph as to where we needed to be at any sort of given time. Obviously, it did get to a point where we needed to start winning games and winning games consistently, which through some fantastic performances, both from a team and some fantastic individual performances, that's allowed us to be in the position we are now.
We've seen the individual performances, but it strikes me that so many of the players have contributed. That must be especially pleasing.
Yeah, and that's always great. The players have we've had some special performances, and obviously Wayne's been outstanding. His innings the other day was as good as you'll ever see in this form of the game. Obviously, Sean's led from the front just through weight of runs. But then there's been some wonderful little cameos. A guy that goes under the radar, Matty McKinnon's been superb for us. I think he's the highest spinner or the best spinner outside of any spinner that's in the 100 at the moment. His performances have been exceptional. I think Mark Watt's performances have been exceptional. So along the way, guys have all played their role, and you can't forget the little, the 30 or 15 balls that we got somewhere in the season as well. Those little performances ultimately contribute to wins as well. So collectively, we've been very good, and obviously been some fantastic individual performances as well.
Let's hope we don't have Matty McKinnon in August then. How will you cope without Shan Masood? It's an obvious question, but I think it needs asking. You will cope, I'm sure, but how will you cope?
Look, we'll cope. Sean's been a colossus for us. He's been outstanding with his weight of runs. His presence in the dressing room has been exceptional. But we've carried a squad with us all the time where everybody knows exactly where they fit in and how they fit in. And we lose Sean, and the next man comes in because he's been primed for that position. This didn't happen right now. We weren't taken by surprise by it. We had planned. We knew Sean was going to be gone round about this period of time. So we've planned for that. And it presents an opportunity for somebody else to come in and make a real mark for himself.
And lastly for me, Somerset, Saturday night after the pubs have been open all day, full house. It's going to be a bit of a bear pit, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be exciting. It's a wonderful little venue. It's a great place to go and play cricket. A Saturday night is going to be even more daunting for our boys, but it's going to be a wonderful experience for everybody, and one that I hope our boys, and I know they will embrace and just enjoy the atmosphere that comes with hopefully putting a win and a smile on Derbyshire supporters' faces.
How difficult, or does it present different problems to take on a team that you're not quite so familiar with playing after all the North Group games we've already had?
Yeah, it's a different dynamic, but we've done our homework on them. Our analyst has been frantically looking through a lot of their footage, and in the modern world now, guys are playing against each other. There's a lot of crossover, so it's not that daunting. By the same token, they don't know much about us, which is also good. But we'll stay consistent with what our game plans and strategies have been like through the whole year, and that's concentrating on our own performances. You can analyze, you can look at your opposition, and you can do your homework against them. But ultimately, your game's got to be in order first and foremost, and that's what we'll be concentrating on, is bringing our A game to Taunton, because we know if we bring our A game to Taunton, we've got a real good chance.
Is it too soon to say who might open instead of Sean? That's obviously a key position.
It's probably too soon to say it publicly. Internally, we know exactly who's going to do that job, but publicly, it's probably too soon.
Okay. A more general question, Mickey. What have you found to be the main differences in coaching a county squad compared to coaching an international squad?
Look, ultimately, the fundamentals remain exactly the same. So you can take a microcosm of any dressing room across the world, and that microcosm is almost the same. So the standards, the way you coach, the way you manage, the expectations you have for every individual within that dressing room doesn't change. Obviously, there is a subtle difference between a county team to an international team, and there are a lot of external differences as well, which we probably won't go into now. But that's the only fundamental change there is. In terms of the way we work as a unit, the way we work as a team, and the expectations we put on our players and the players put on the coaching staff remains exactly the same.
So Somerset, of their group games, they lost 4. I think most of them were at home. Is that something you're encouraged by and that you've taken note of?
Oh, look, no, not particularly, to be honest. We take a note of the averages around the ground. You know what good scores are, whether you bat first, bowl first, etc. But everybody starts on 0 for 0, and you've got to bring your best game every time you turn up. So whether you win a lot at home or lose a lot at home, for me, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Ultimately, you've got to bring your best game to every day.
Can you identify the moment that you thought that getting to this sort of stage of the competition was realistic?
Yeah, I can. And I thought, for me, I thought it was the game at Headingley, and I know that game at Headingley was a very, very much a rain-shortened game. But how we approached the game and the quality that I saw from some of our players filled me with a lot of hope going forward. So I would say I remember getting back to the hotel in Headingley that night and getting back to the room and actually thinking we can give this a real crack. So I would have thought it was probably in that dressing room at Headingley, which I think was 3rd game into the season, or 3rd game into the round. I knew that if we brought our best game and we were consistent with our best game, I knew we had a chance.
Can I just ask you a general one about the county schedule as well? How have you found it? And what are your sort of general reflections on it? How does it challenge you, and how does it challenge the players?
Oh, first and foremost, I've really enjoyed it because I could be at a cricket ground every day of my life. So it's been good. It challenges the players without a doubt, and I've often sat with the coaching staff and when we've been talking and planning, and particularly our S&C guy a lot is how you feeling, and he says, well, I'm slightly tired. So well, imagine then how the players are feeling, and it has been taxing. It's been a very, very taxing program. You know, I don't know what's going to happen if we get some rain in Taunton on Saturday, because we start a 4-day game in Durham on Monday morning. So that kind of highlights the fixture schedule that we have. It has been taxing. Make no mistake about it. But you know, we've just had to get on with it. And the one thing we've been very strong on within our dressing room is that we can never use that as excuse. We've got to be ready for the next game, and we've got to be prepared and prepared well enough in order to make that our next best game.
I know we're only a couple of months into the season, but you obviously know what's coming up as well, and the way that the formats interchange for the next couple of months. I wonder, what's your sort of overall reflection, and what would your sort of overall comment be to those who put the schedule together, be about what you've got to do and what you've already done?
Look, I think what's been good is playing it in blocks. I know we've had a couple of 4-day games sort of intermingled, which has made it, to be honest, slightly more difficult for us as coaches and as players, I think, to switch formats very as quickly as we have. But that happens internationally as well. So, although albeit you do it with a lot more different personnel. For us, small squad, our guys generally double up in both formats. So that's been quite good. I think the block format works, and I would certainly try and keep that going for as long as possible. The one thing we do is in August, we play 8 times. Hopefully it's 11 for us, because that means we've got to a Royal London Cup final. But, so you're playing so much cricket, and then August we sit and as a county, we play 8 days. And I understand that's because the 100's on. I get all that, but it seems that we're having to congest a whole Vitality Blast, a whole county championship season into effectively 5 months, which is tough.
Stuff. So obviously you're only one win away from reaching the T20 finals day, so you're very close. And I know there's been a lot of talk online from Derbyshire fans about, can Derbyshire go all the way? And obviously it would be the first time Derbyshire would have ever won this trophy. So hypothetically, if you were to win the T20 Vitality, how highly would that rank amongst your career achievements?
It would be fantastic. It really would be. I think that would have been beyond my wild. Like I said right at the start, that you want to come in, you want to win every game. But for us to have gone the whole way and win it would be a really big achievement. But it's not. It's an achievement of the players, and it's the players who have fronted up every day and have trained well and maintained standards. And given us match-winning performances under pressure. So it for the players, I think it would be something massive.
Great stuff. And just the last question from me, and just going slightly off the topic from the T20, but obviously the news has come about recently that George Scrimshaw has joined up with the England Lions squad. How valuable will that experience be for George's career?
I think it'll be invaluable for his career. That's ultimately what you want. You want players from your county going on to represent England in different forms and in different teams. So that's really good. I think for George it'll be a fantastic experience, and hopefully one that he savors and thrives on. But also for the county, I think for the county it's really good for where we want to go as being the county of choice. We want to be a county that can provide the best opportunities, can provide quality coaching, can provide great facilities, and then can give the players that join us a real opportunity of contesting for higher honours. So for the county, it's fantastic. And for George, we're obviously all delighted for it.
I wanted to go back to the interview that we did before the start of the season. And at that point, you said that you were really impressed by what had happened over the course of the first 2 months in the job. And you couldn't wait to see what the players were capable of within the first 6 months. You must be bowled over at this stage.
Yeah, I am. And credit goes to the players. They fronted up, as I've said, every day. Every day they put a massive amount of work in through those dark cold winter months, and they have maintained standards. They've maintained their fitness levels. They've maintained their technical levels. They've just been fantastic. I couldn't have asked for more from every one of them. They've really embraced what we've tried to do, and hopefully the results that they're getting and we getting collectively just endorses the process that we're on.
You also said in that same interview with me that you felt that there were a couple of Derbyshire players who had the potential to go on to England recognition. And already we've got George Scrimshaw, of course. Do you still stand by that assertion that there's more could follow in George's footsteps and are capable of doing that?
Yeah, 100% I do. I firmly believe it. If we didn't believe it, then we wouldn't. We wouldn't be true to the players. I do believe it. I genuinely sit here and genuinely believe that we have more guys that can carry on and represent represent England in some form.
You've sounded very upbeat from afar, but has it been difficult for you with your international pedigree to adjust not only to county cricket but to Derbyshire, who can be one of the more unsung counties? And has that been a challenge for you? Has it just been a natural thing for you to do at this stage of your life?
No, personally, for me, it was exactly what I wanted, and I think I've said that along, Dave. I still see it as a massive project, and I think we're just starting to tip the iceberg here with the county. You know, tongue in cheek, I always say it's a county of choice, and that's what the project is. We want people knocking the door down to come here because of the opportunities that we can present to them from so many different sides. You know, coaching, facilities, and performance wise. So it's been very upbeat. The support we've had this year has been immense, and it's been something that I feel proud to have been part of. But this is only the start. This is only the start, Dave. There's a lot more to come.
So let's forget the future and go back to the beginning. When you came here and you wanted to communicate that you could be competitive, like what was your sort of first day core message to persuade Derbyshire that they were in the mix?
The core message is you never look too far ahead, Dave. You've always got to concentrate on the present. So when I arrived here, it was about making the guys believe that we could make them better than what they were, make them believe in themselves as a team, and make them believe in the journey that we were on together. I think that was really important. Our mission as a coaching staff has always been to make the players the best they can be. And once you get that belief and you instill that confidence, players respond to that, and players then take it on board, and you find that little hidden 3 or 4%. And once you find that hidden 3 or 4%, and collectively you start getting a couple of wins, the whole process becomes quite powerful. And once that process is powerful, who knows what you can achieve.
I've seen you a few games on the streams, and the ones I've seen, you've looked mentally very strong. So against Yorkshire at Chesterfield, when you seemed easily the most mentally strong side, is that part of it?
Well, it is. It's making the guys totally believe in their own ability, making them believe in the process, and that's something we've been pretty strong on in our dressing room. Standards, the expectation around standards has been something that we've driven every day, because we know that if we don't pitch up and our standards drop, we can't compete. That's just the fact. We only as good as the sum of our parts. And the thing that's been so good for me particularly is that we've had so many match-winning contributions from a lot of different guys. But everybody plays their role. You always talk about it being a jigsaw puzzle, and you've got to fit that, give everybody a role. And once that jigsaw puzzle fits and you get that picture, then it becomes pretty satisfying. And we almost there. We're not there yet, but we're getting close.
But Somerset is sort of special challenge, very tight boundaries, very fast scoring ground. You can look up, and 5 minutes earlier they got 40 less than they've got 9 balls later. So I mean, how do you cope with the challenge of Taunton specifically?
Look, Taunton is pretty daunting down there, and it is the dimensions are fairly small. Wickets normally very good, but we've played well, funny enough, on grounds like that. The game at Chesterfield was a very small ground as well, and yet we found a way there. So that's not too daunting. I guess for us the focus has been on every ball, because these games change ball by ball when the going gets tough. So the focus and the message for our players has been the next ball's the most important thing in your life at that particular moment. Whether you're bowling, whether you're batting, it's that focus on the next ball, because that is what determines and changes games. So that's the kind of philosophy we've tried to bring in, and I've got to just give the guys and give the team so much credit, because they've really embraced that and have been exceptional in their execution of it.